Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Do you remember when you were a kid growing up how sometimes in the summer, giant untamable wildfires in northern Ontario, Canada would make the air quality absolutely unbreathable across an enormous swath of the Midwest and East Coast of the United States? Remember how you couldn't leave the house without a mask and it burned your eyes and it burned your throat if you breathed it? No, I don't remember that either, because it literally never happened. What we are experiencing now in this country right now is not normal, or at least it did not used to be. Sure, wildfires in the West all the time, but this is new. And climate change is exacerbating everything. Winters are warmer, the warmest on record, in fact, which means less snow, and less snow means drier conditions, which in turn means more wildfires, and more wildfires mean more smoke. And then the scorching heat traps the smoke close to the ground, and here we are. What you're looking at right now is the view from the cockpit of a plane over Ontario this week. Those you see there aren't clouds in the center, that is smoke from the fires. I mean, right now, the situation in the Midwest is downright apocalyptic. Just take a look at Cleveland, Ohio.
The only thing people are talking right now is that smoky filled sky.
Yes, add 3 more smokes to it, right? I mean, it's just been unbearable, right? Just spending time outdoors, it's just been unhealthy for everyone. So the National Weather Service, along with the EPA, to continue with this cold maroon, that's 5 out of 5, very unhealthy for everyone due to the wildfire smoke that will continue to linger all throughout your Friday. Here's another gorgeous look of smoky downtown. We have the clouds, the low-level smoke and haze sticking around, not much of a sun to talk about. The densest of the smoke is continuing to dance and pretty much scattered around much of the lower Great Lakes region, including the Ohio Valley now.
I, for one, and I imagine you didn't also know there was a code maroon, that air quality was so bad that no one could be outside. I mean, the air quality numbers are reaching levels people didn't know were possible. And the guidance for much of the Midwest, as you just heard, is stay indoors, not folks with, breathing problems or the elderly, like everyone. Look at this map. The red dots are where the air quality is considered unhealthy. Those big purple clusters are where the air quality is considered very unhealthy. And the brown dots are where the air itself is considered hazardous, as in it's not safe to go outside and breathe the air, not just for the sick or the very young or the elderly, for everyone. If you're lucky enough to be in a part of the world not experiencing this smoke, it's difficult to convey just how awful the conditions are. And while there's some hope it could dissipate throughout the weekend, there are no guarantees. I mean, we're sort of victims here at the whim of the jet stream. This is a problem that we'll be living with, well, now probably forever. Today, Donald Trump met with the head of FIFA. The smoke was bad enough that we got reports that there were discussions about health concerns of the World Cup finals set to take place on Sunday in New York. The National Women's Soccer League already had its own game here in New York interrupted by the smoke this week. Star player Trinity Rodman had to receive oxygen, telling the New York Times, quote, "If we have to have a hydration break every 15 minutes, then we shouldn't be playing the game." Sounds like the Milwaukee Brewers are going to play tonight, but the team is letting fans swap their tickets for a different game after air quality levels in Wisconsin hit their worst levels on record yesterday. And instead, of course, of taking any action on our climate crisis, Trump and his enablers in the right-wing media have the perfect reactionary response. Blame Canada.
Fox News alert, more than 800 wildfires burning across Canada right now. And the smoke isn't stopping at the border.
Canada facing widespread outrage over dangerous wildfire smoke that is sweeping into the U.S.
Canada's turned us all into chain smokers because apparently it's like equivalent to like ripping cigarettes if you're outside for a long duration.
How do we know people don't have asthma and don't know about it? That's what I'm worried about.
All right, so tell Canada, put it out.
South Park said it. Blame Canada.
Now, to be clear, this is not a Canada problem. This is, as people have been saying for literally decades, including yours truly here sitting in this chair, it's a global problem. The wildfires are simply not possible to contain. In many cases, they are too remote and raging too quickly and too strongly. But the Trump administration is not interested in addressing the actual problem, the problem of climate change staring all of us in the face. In fact, what they have been doing is working every single day in ways large and small to make it worse. Under the watch of Administrator Lee Zeldin, the EPA has been essentially gutted. Last year, Elon Musk and his so-called Department of Government Efficiency literally ended a key project set to debut this year that would have put new monitors on satellites with advanced ability to monitor wildfire and wildfire smoke. Seriously, they cut that out. The White House is also using billions of your taxpayer dollars to pay renewable energy companies to kill proposed wind turbines. That is, they're paying them not to produce carbon-free energy, not to make clean sources of energy that could end our reliance on fossil fuels. And at the same time, they're spending $1 billion to prop up coal, the most polluting source of energy we have, the exact opposite of what we should be doing. Donald Trump doesn't like the wind turbines. They ruined the view of his golf course. He thinks global warming is a Chinese hoax, if he thinks about it at all. I will say one thing here is that everyone else seems to understand that the climate crisis is here. It's at our door. I mean, Republicans still kind of hem and haw about it not being man-made, but a record high of Americans, a clear plurality, believe the threat is underestimated. The number of Americans who think it's exaggerated is declining precipitously. Again, because people can see with their own eyes. This didn't used to happen. It wasn't like this. Every year, I have multiple moments just in my own life when I think to myself, this is weird. It wasn't like this when I was a kid. This year was the second hottest winter on record. The first was 2 years ago. Rough estimates the most recent heat wave in Europe may have killed as many as 10,000 people in a continent where, because it's been cooler for a long time, the adoption of air conditioning is still not widespread. The heat has also caused water shortages, hundreds of wildfires, untold damages to farm harvests, and it will likely be among the coolest year that our kids ever see again. Floods. Have you been seeing what's happening in Texas? Floods that were once one in a millennia, right? In a technical way, the risk of them was 1 in 1,000 years are now commonplace. I mean, we have more than one this year in Texas. Multiple people have already been confirmed dead in the catastrophic flooding that we're seeing in that state right now. It looks like a scene out of a disaster movie. But again, this is just the sort of steady drip of the routine now as our changing climate makes extreme weather events more common, just as was predicted, just as we have known from the basic physics for decades. It's here. The problem, it's going to get worse. It's not abstract. It's not theoretical. I think most people get that. The other thing is we actually do have an opportunity to transfer rapidly to carbon-free energy that right now is growing at rates never seen before, surpassing all expectations, and literally at this moment is already ready to go and scalable. Right now. If we do that, if we do it rapidly enough, we can alter the trajectory of our future summers so that this, what you're seeing right now, what people have been experiencing, tens of millions of Americans, remains maybe a freak strange occurrence, something that happens once in a while, rather than a future in which our own kids look back at this summer and this experience as the good old days. The good old days when they were younger, when you only lost a few days every summer to the smokeouts, and not weeks or months at a time.